I'm Anvesha Panda. My dad's Pratish Panda is sitting right here. I'm currently going. I'm going to be 18. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be. I'm going to be 18 soon. I'm currently studying at Bombay Scottish School in Mahim, and I'm going to complete my 12th grade there. And yeah.
Hi, I'm Aryan. I'm the only son to Soumya and Dipali. They're one of the few people who will be holding up the camera now to take a video of this entire thing. I'm originally from Mumbai. I moved to Pune 3 years back for work. I work at a consulting firm. I look after branding and strategy. And earlier in my life, I've been a sportsman. I played professional cricket. And I'm really excited to be here. I think as a family, it's one of our values to give and contribute to the world. And it's good to see my parents be part of something and meet their side of the world. So really nice to meet all of you.
We're also standing age-wise over here, just to let you know. Gen Zs, millennials over here, so go ahead.
Good evening, I'm Rahul Kulkarni. I'm the son of Mr. Vinod. He's a CSR professional working with the Tata Group. By profession, I'm a chemical engineer. Did my MBA and working for a chemical company. I didn't know that I was going to speak here until today morning. Bindi just came to me. She said, you are also going to be a part of this. So I was really not aware. But yeah, I was there in the session that was nearly a part of the day, and I was really inspired by the work that LMP is doing, and also the enthusiasm that people have to give. This is something that is very rare I've seen, because in India we don't have that culture of giving, and people are image conscious. But really happy to be here and add value here. Thank you.
Next time.
Hi, my name is Aditya. As Bindi said, I'm bringing up the average of the panel, average age of the panel. I belong to Nirmala, who you saw a little earlier. That was a fantastic session, by the way. I really enjoyed that. I won't tell you which camp I belong to and how and where I shifted after that. We'll discuss that separately. But it's a pleasure being here. I work in advertising. I work at this creative agency called Leo Burnett. And I've been helping my mom with her foundation over the years, and happy to be here. Yeah.
So why don't, since you have the mic, why
Yes.
don't you tell us how did she break the news to you of how she was giving, and how did you take it at that point in time?
Very casually, over just one fine day, she woke up. We were having a cup of tea, and she just casually dropped this bomb, if you will. But I think. So it was, in that sense, not a momentous, okay, you know what, let's sit down, let me create the atmosphere and let's put the lights on or any of that. It was a very casual Tuesday afternoon sort of a situation. But I think what took me less by surprise was, we've over the years had an environment of a conversation around it. So it didn't hit me as much in that moment, and I was just like, fantastic, go ahead, do it. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So in my case, because my dad has been professionally into CSR, so I've seen him work with NGOs, non-profits, and the way he's created impact with NGOs directly and even with public-private partnership. So it's been, charity begins at home, right? So I've seen that at home. And I also know what he has done anonymously for many individuals, organizations, ingrained into me as well. And though I know that I come from a sense of privilege, I've got all that I wanted in life. So with that, there's a higher stage of fulfillment that one wants, that I must not look at only myself, but I must now go forward and look at the larger good of the people around me as well. So that way I've been privileged. I've got that background, and so I feel I should be competent enough to give whatever I can, in terms of my not just financial capital but human effort as well. That goes.
Go ahead. Next, how did they break the news to you?
Yeah, it happened a few years back. It was very similar to the experience that Aditya described. It just happened over a conversation, and I think it just felt like this was the natural next step that was supposed to happen. We've always been contributing as a family a time or effort through to social work in different manners. So actually, I got a lot of reassurance from my parents that we're doing this, it's fine, you'll be fine, and I almost thought, yeah, theek hai, no big deal, and yeah, let's get with it. Good job. So that was the kind of feeling I was having.
Okay. Anvesha, what about you? Did Pratyush tell you, or he just told you accept this and you have to live with this?
No, it was like very casual, like this very chaotic day. I was filling in college applications and I was filling in info. She's like, yeah, 50%, 50%, we give away. Yeah, and I didn't even comprehend anything he said. I didn't answer. I was like, okay, I'll just write this. And then after I was done filling in college applications, like, oh, okay. I remember thinking like, wow, 50%? But like, it wasn't that surprising because I know he gives to the community, he's found NGOs, he gives laptops to people, scholarships to people. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but I remember thinking, wow, 50%.
And so, on that note, since all of these guys are just saying nice things, why don't you say you're just going to college, right? And wow, 50%. What happens to your career, right? Like, aren't you going to lose out? I mean, what will happen if you want to, like, say tomorrow go to Harvard and it's like, what, couple of crores or 10 crores, 50? I don't know how much money the fees is. I got a scholarship, but what? He knows better than me. But what happens to that if you don't get it?
I don't think anything happened because I was planning to go. So I'm going to Flame next year, and I was going to Flame before he told me. I'm going to Flame after he told me. Like it didn't make a difference because so I wasn't okay. Because I have friends who are also going to go, and my friends, I don't think any of their parents do any of this, contribute and stuff like that. But, I don't think I've ever felt a difference from them in terms of, money. I've always had what they've had. I've never felt like, oh, I don't have this, but they have it. Does that make sense?
It totally does. You guys are just starting out your career, like both Rahul and Aryan. And have you felt a little bit of resentment कि यार थोड़ा और होता तो गाड़ी आ जाती, थोड़ा और होता तो कुछ अच्छा हो जाता? मतलब have you felt this that you are losing out something? If you had that cushion, it would have been easier. You could have taken more risks in life, or you could have done something better. Go ahead,
Definitely
Vijay.
no resentment from my side. I think, like I said, growing up, it was always like that I'd seen that kind of giving that used to take place. So this didn't come as a surprise. It felt very natural. So there wasn't any resentment, and my mom keeps saying this Hindi quote. I hope to get it right. It goes like "Poot sapoot to kyun dhan sanchay, poot kapoot to kyun dhan sanchay." It loosely translates into if your son is worthy, why leave wealth for him, and if he's unworthy, why leave wealth for him. So I sort of got used to it.
In my case, what I feel is that when we give, it is not the person whom we are giving who benefits, it is we who actually benefit. The world doesn't owe anything to us. If we are doing anything for the world, it is for our own self-development, and the benefit that the other person gets is a byproduct of it. So in that case, in whatever capacity we can, in whatever station in life we are in, if we are able to give, we should take that opportunity, and if we are materially good enough, and I know that these decisions of giving are taken prudently, nobody takes it without any thought. So if that decision has been taken prudently, and if we know that we are good to do, and we know that this is for our own development, self-development, and not for the sake of the world, because it doesn't need us. So in that case, then it's not just an emotional decision. There is a rationale behind it. And so if both the head and the heart are together, then what can be more better?
So, I think I want to ask you a different question from
Sure.
that. I think resentment is far back. It's already been a decade. I think she signed the pledge a long time ago.
Right.
I think I saw your video when I signed up. So, why don't you tell me how it's changed you as an individual, right? Because even before she did it and after, I mean, she was a corporate professional and now a hardcore, philanthropist and non-profit person. So, how has it changed you as an individual, and has it made a difference in your life for you?
100%. Before I go there, I'd just like to take off from what he said.
You didn't want a BMW or that resentment,
Which is that it's when someone makes that kind of decision, it's a very prudent decision, right? Like everyone in this room, if they ever come to that point where they make that decision, they're going to have thought through on what their family needs. So that's never going to be a question, right? Of course, in my case, and I'm glad you asked the question, because in my case, I was a little later into my career and I was in a place where I could handle it. And it would have been an entirely separate conversation if I was perhaps a little younger. But also, I think, just to color a little bit of visibility into it, because my mom's selectively visible and she may not. So I just as a way of like demoing this, right? Very early on, and I want to say just about the time when I was starting off my career, my mom had over the years, and I guess as any parent does, been saving a little bit for me, right? And at that point, she opened that up to me and said, you know what, you're an adult, you're going into the professional world, this is the money I had kept for you. Do what you like with it in terms of invest it sensibly, right? So she opened that up. What that did for me is it, in a way, closed expectation for future. So it was like, this is more than I ever needed or expected. And she's also granted me that money with the sensibility that I'll be smart with it and do whatever I want with it. And so I was like, that's, if for over 20 years, if she's put that penny aside and given that to me, what further right do I have? That's it. It ends there. So which is why it goes back to the last conversation. When we did have that conversation casually on a Tuesday afternoon, I was like, okay, go ahead, go. I mean, fantastic, because I have already got more than I was ever owed in that sense. And I think, and coming closer to your question now, it just makes me a little bit more conscientious of my everyday and being more financially frugal in that sense, and that's only for the better. But yeah, that's about it.
So, I mean, you're all Bombay kids, and I'm going to switch the question, it's not in the list you got. You're all Bombay kids. I mean, nowadays when you look at it, people have so much more, right? Like iPad chahiye, iPhone chahiye, fancy gaadi chahiye, bahut kuch chahiye. And it's not, the list is unlimited. So, and especially when you're starting out over here, what is that feeling, when you're like, this is, maybe I won't get everything, right? Like, maybe I'll have to oh, you think you're going to get everything?
No. But it's okay to not get everything.
And why do you think so?
I feel like if you get everything, then at one point, if you don't get what you want, like, arey, nahi mila. It's that thing, like, if, that thing about, you listen about toppers, you got everything, you topped like 10, 12, you didn't get IIT. How I didn't get that, you aren't able to comprehend how you didn't. But like if someone's like not hard, like if you don't get everything, it's fine, we'll do something else. It's like not the end of the world, because I feel like people who get everything, one, they're spoiled, obviously, and second, it's like you can't comprehend that, oh, how I didn't get this, how did that happen?
So can I ask you a follow-up question? You're in school right now. How would you convince your peers to convince their parents that this is a good idea? Or how would you tell them to how would you convince somebody? Or anyone else, if you guys want to take that question. How would you convince your peers' parents if you had to make that spiel? He's too old, I'm not asking this question. So, the three of you, how would you convince somebody to say, hey, this is a good idea, tell your parents, you guys should sign up, mine did. What do you think? What do you want to tell them?
I think it starts with living it yourself first, that I need to be that person that goes out of my way, volunteers for NGOs, spends time for certain causes. And then once people see that, they're naturally inclined to you, they join you in that cause, and ऐसे धीरे धीरे करके community बन जाती है. But if you expect them to go up front and tell them कि यार your parents should spend 50% of their money here, they will like, who the hell are you? Why are you telling me they should? What are you doing yourself? So it starts by living it, and then people pick it up and follow. I think that's what's happened with a lot of you guys as well. One person would have started this, others then copied, and then it sort of spread like that. So.
What do you think, Rahul?
Arvind is right. You need to live by example first. That's very important, because if you are not inspiring, why do you think someone else will get inspired by you if you yourself are not self-motivated? So that's a no-brainer. But apart from that, once you are able to live it yourself, then how do you convey it? Whom do you convey it to? All that also matters because people have their own goals in life. Everyone doesn't live for the same reason. So if you feel that the other person is more wiser, if you feel that the person has gone beyond his own self-centric needs and has the capacity to expand beyond himself, if you think that it resonates, then why not? Otherwise, I don't think ज्ञान देने की जरूरत है. If सब लोग नहीं देने वाले हैं, तो जो नहीं देने वाले हैं, रहने दो उनके लिए.
इतना पेपर लीक नहीं करना चाहिए. Everybody is giving good answers over here. Somebody has to give like not so nice answers. Aditya, let's start. Final answer. I've been told we are out of time.
Okay.
Since what? You're in your 30s now?
Yes.
What would get you to sign the pledge and complete the loop?
In fact, it's something that I've actively thought about. And I'm close. Honestly, I'm fairly close. I also think at the point I am in my life, you start to make some financial calculations for yourself, right? You know what your forecast is going to look like 20, 30, 40 years from now. And I know that what that forecast looks, and it's way more than I need. I know that. And this is just my own personal net worth at the moment, right? And so I just feel like when that reality starts hitting, and I think just to speak to the prudent part, right, where you know that whatever you need in terms of your own goals, and everybody has them, is taken care of, then I think I'll be more closer when I feel like that the time is there.
Do you have a spreadsheet like me that says I will survive when the rest of it is all okay?
Yeah,
If I can add just a point.
Yes.
Because it takes a lot of moral strength to do these things. Because till date we have lived for ourselves, and then you're telling the other person that now you have to live for someone else, and it's not easy because there is attachment. There is attachment that we have towards so many things, and then you're telling the person that now you must give, and it requires a lot of moral strength, a lot of maturity, and only if the other person has it, then give it, then you can convey it. Otherwise, let them be where they are.
Okay, should we take questions? Do we have time, or I'm keeping you from dinner? No time. I think they're around. So if you have questions, you have kids their age, and we've got a spectrum. We've got 2 in their 20s, 1 in the 30s, and 1 still in school or going to college. So why don't you speak to them and see that your kids are not going to stop, and your kids are going to. I mean, I told mine give it. I'm still trying to convince my parents. So I'm doing the reverse. So think about it and talk to them. I think they're the perfect people to convince you to sign up and talk to Good Shepherd.